Hello, you're listening to the Shetland Times podcast with me, your podcast host, Marjolein Robertson. And this week I'm joined by two guests. I'm joined by Summers and Morag Mouat of the Islesburgh Drama Group. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing?
Recovering from up earlier.
Yeah.
So I feel a bit like I've been hit by a bus, but I'm getting there. I've had a great week. I've got the weekend to recover and I'm back to work on Monday.
And you've actually worked as your hostess.
Yes, I'm a hostess of Anderson High School at Marille.
And Martin, you're involved too.
Yeah, I go out with my dad's squad, so it's been a busy year preparing for that squad, but it's always a great time up Hellier. I love the kind of community aspect of it, and recovering this week and looking forward to getting back to normal this weekend and to work again on Monday.
Yeah, I know. Thanks so much for joining me this weekend because it has been a busy week for you both, and I'm glad you've still got your voices for doing the podcast. And we're going to talk today about Islesburgh Drama Group because it's been since 1950s?
Yes, it was originally, it was on to go a little before 1950s, but in 1950s it was official. They formed the committee and went forward from there and still on to go in 2018.
And Morag, can you give a brief introduction to yourself and how you got involved with Islesburgh as well?
My name's Morag Mouat. I'm born and bred in Shetland. My dad comes from Unst. My mum's a Toonie. I went away to study. I'm a dental hygienist, and I came back here and I've worked in Shetland all that time. I'm married to an Unst man. I have a son, Michael, who stays south. He's been home for up Hellier. And I got involved with Islesburgh Drama Group because my mum was a member of Islesburgh Drama Group.
Nice.
And I think it was probably easier to take me to rehearsals and join in than get a babysitter. So that was, I think, why I got involved with Islesburgh Drama Group.
I think that's a really important thing. I think Islesburgh Drama Group, we've seen lots of family members joining over the years. I think Morag and her family is a prime example where Morag, her mum, her husband and her son have all been involved, and I think that's something, it says something very proudly about our group. It's very much like a family. For me, I joined back in 1998. It was my first panto. It was actually Morag who was producing the panto that year.
Which one was it?
Hickory Dickory Dock.
Oh, amazing.
And it was a great panto. I really loved being involved in that production and being able to get to meet all the members of the group. Prior to that, I'd been in a whole pile of different drama groups. Had worked with Izzy Swanson and John Haswell.
You did Shetland Youth Theatre as well.
Yeah, so I did one of my favourite productions we ever did with the Youth Theatre was Animal Farm. We did that, and actually that was the show previously to getting in with Islesburgh Drama Group. So I've done a lot of drama here locally, but also kind of dance as well based activity. I worked with many years with Diane Leggett with Feet First when that was on the go here in Shetland. So I've kind of grown up doing lots of amateur drama in Shetland and just know really the benefits it can give people.
So I'm going backwards here because I started talking about Islesburgh straight away, but do you want to also introduce yourself, Matt?
Yeah, so my name's Martin Summers. I was born in Aberdeen actually, but I've grown up in Shetland all my life. I've got my mum and dad here. I got two brothers. I work for the local authority within the youth work service, and that's really all about me.
Thank you. Yeah, and also I like that you mentioned as well Shetland Youth Theatre and Diane Leggett's dance as well, because you've done a lot of performance.
Yeah, I've been involved in drama from a very young age. It was a great thing growing up that a lot of our peer group were really involved. I kind of remember a lot of friends at the Anderson High School. We all got involved, whether or not that was with John during the kind of summer productions. And what was really good was we had lots of opportunity to go and travel as well through drama. So got to go down to perform in the Eden Court down in Inverness, down to the Millennium Dome in 2000 when it was opened as a performance space, but also as far away as Helsinki. We took a production with John's youth theatre over to Helsinki. So I had lots of opportunities through drama to be able to experience not just what goes on here in Shetland, but nationally and internationally too.
Yeah,
I think that's the great thing about any kind of performing arts. I think the discipline that you learn within it, but also the social skills that you learn, the mental health benefits are incredible. So I think for young folk to be involved in drama, it's fantastic.
Yeah, certainly growing up, I had the fortunate position to grow up with the likes of Islesburgh Drama Group and be able to learn from people like Morag, Diane, John, Izzy, from other groups as well. And I think I think that is something it really does teach you is discipline. I think around everything from time management and being able to organise yourself, to being able to keep your memory going with all the kind of lines and everything that you have to learn to be somebody who's working on stage. But equally, for me, I've grown and understood so much more about how a group takes to the run. So, for example, Islesburgh Drama Group has a huge amount of people behind the scenes that make things happen. So, the applause on the night always goes to the people who are on stage, but actually there is tons of people backstage that are giving up huge amounts of time to be able to make a show like that happen. I remember being in a show, 1999 actually. It was a production Morag produced. It was a musical, Me and My Girl, and I was behind the scenes in that show working with the backstage crew, and there was one task that I was given was to ring this bell, and it was to replicate a doorbell being rung, and it's the most petrified I've ever been, and still so just because it was a cue for somebody to come on, and if that bell hadn't rung, that person couldn't get on the stage. And as a young boy, had done a lot of stuff on stage, and it doesn't really worry me, but that one time backstage, it was one of the most nerve-wracking experiences I've ever had.
Learning responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
When we did My Fair Lady, we didn't have a huge amount of side wings at the Garrison, as you know.
Yeah.
And it was complex sets and a huge amount of cast on stage, but actual choreography in the wings to get things on was choreographed exactly the same as a dance routine to get things up and down the wings. And that I wish you could see that. I wish you could film that and let people see how much goes on in and out. You can.
That'd be an idea for a feature production.
Well, yes, we did. My son spoke about having a GoPro, even watching a set coming in, being built. You can speed it up time.
Yeah, some sort of time lapse to be able to demonstrate that.
How quick. And
just thinking just new actually, I think about a show, because you always see the posters coming up for the show, tickets coming on sale, the show runs, and there's the review. But just, can you give us some information about the amount of work that goes into it, from even, I don't know, how you decide on what play you're going to do next? Is there a committee that organises it, and who takes the lead, and then the rehearsal schedule?
Well, it's usually, there's probably about 4 producers in our group at the moment. Some didn't feel confident enough to produce for a while. They'll be in a lot of things, and then so you either see something, or somebody tells you about a play that would be good for, because we kind of do things, we didn't have a huge youth element, so our plays have to be able to incorporate everybody from 16 to 80. That's so you have to pick your play, and you have to be passionate about your play. And then what we do is we have readings. Quite a lot of times you might look at 10 plays before you find one that reads well, so you'll go to the committee and say, can I have a reading? So you have a reading around the room, you give lots of people different bits to read. You go away and you think, yeah, we can do this. And then you go to the committee and ask if it's okay to go ahead, and usually they're delighted that we go ahead. We have to get dates in the Garrison. You get that, and then you just start from scratch. You have to get somebody to do the costumes. You have to also put the play to David Grieve, who designs our sets, and say, can we do this? Yeah. Because there's some things we can't do in the Garrison. There's a couple of plays that were thought about that we actually physically can't do. Okay. So it has to be able to be done as well. And then you just start rehearsals. You make sure we have the drama room booked.
Apply for the licence, which is one of the key things as well.
Is that for recreating the play?
Yeah, sometimes you can. Sometimes you can't afford to do it. Oh, wow. You can. A musical licence can be $5,000 plus 20% of the takings. So sometimes we maybe just can't quite afford to do it. But usually it'll be under £1,000 usually for a licence. Because you can obviously do it. If it's being done in the West End, sometimes we'll struggle to get a licence, or if it's out on tour. Okay. So can licence costs differ over year? Okay. And different places. Samuel French just takes the cost of the licence. Weinberger's will take the cost of the licence plus 17% of what you make. Wow. So sometimes you don't make a lot of money. Is it ever a varying fee because you're in a community organisation? No, it tends to be a flat fee. Okay. But sometimes we've been able to argue, they've said we couldn't get a licence because it was on at the West End, and then we explain, look, we're in Shetland. Nobody's going to come for the West End to see. So sometimes then they'll say, no, that's okay, we'll let you
Oh, you can't, because you can't
Yeah,
infringe on their audience.
But you cannot put on a play without a licence. You cannot perform a play that has been written, because it's the author, it's his income.
I was in Shetland Youth Theatre for I don't know how many years, and it's amazing just how much of that I didn't know.
That's why sometimes groups write their own things, because then that saves them paying the licence.
Okay.
So.
That's amazing. And you were speaking about costumes, because I always just had this amazing dreamlike vision of Islesburgh costume department. Cause where does that live?
It's up here. Well, we're in Islesburgh Community Centre at the moment. It's right in the top. Now, anybody that went to school in the central school, it was next to the cook's room, where we did cookery, and it was where they had the flour and they stored all the ingredients for cookery. So we were very, very fortunate that we got that as our store.
Is that the extra staircase up that you never really go up?
Yeah.
We
can take you and show you. Would you like to?
Yes, please. Actually, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit like Alice in Wonderland. You go through a small door and you come into this room just full of costumes, and it goes on forever. And that's another thing for me as a younger member of Islesburgh Drama Group growing up. I think it's the amount of donations that the group have had over the years from members of the community, and I think that's a very powerful thing for the drama group, is that over the years people have been able to help and support, and members past and present have all been able to put a little bit in, and the group has one of the most kind of amazing collections of costumes. And we'll take you up to see there everything that can do us for plays, pantos, musicals. We've got a wide range of costumes that do us, and it means that we can reuse often for lots of productions. We don't have to buy in a lot of the time. We do sometimes when we need them, when there's maybe specialist pieces or wigs that we need to get in for production. But often, actually, it's amazing to see how much of the costumes are able to be reused or changed to look different for another play. And I think that's a great thing as well.
We have costumes stored by the Shetland Museum, Edwardian and Victorian ones that were so precious and so tiny. The women's costumes, their waists were so big. I mean, it would fit my left thigh. We couldn't. So they're specially stored beside them. We have things like Brownie Barnes' mother's 1920s wedding dress.
Oh wow!
We have the late Billy Kay. Mary Kay kindly gave us his army uniform. We have wonderful items. We have wedding dresses from people. So we've been very, very fortunate. Folk are very, very kind. But also we had, for instance, late Tammy Gowdy made all our costumes for Hello Dolly, things like that. So we've had great people to make things as well as things being contributed.
I never thought before about, I thought of costumes, you think of a lot of fancy dress shops or kind of cheaper imitations of clothing, but I never even thought about the actual real wedding dresses and uniforms. That's beautiful.
And we, that must be maybe 30, 40 years ago, a member of the group, Marjolein Robertson, who stayed in Edinburgh, Mutries was a huge costumier that supplied amateur groups and professional groups, and they were closing down, and the group freed up money, and she went and bought. So we have a load of beautiful stage costumes.
Amazing.
We'll show you when we go.
I want to try them on.
And it's amazing, again, for me, there's a team of people, wardrobe mistresses that look after, because again, the collection is so big within the group that it takes a lot of time and effort to be able to categorise everything and know where everything is, because if Morag's doing her next production and she needs something, then she needs to be able to go to members of the group who know what's in the wardrobe and be able to say, I need that top hat, or I need that suitcase or that dress, and they need to be able to locate it. So they do a sterling job in being able to look after our wardrobe. It does get sometimes overbearing, and there's times where we have to go, that's enough, and we're going to have a bit of a clear out, and we'll maybe sell some stuff on eBay or put it on Shetland Classifieds or that, and we've done that before.
We've done that, but also the time that you do that and you sell that dress is the one that you need at the next production.
Just in college, did anyone buy this?
Yeah.
You mentioned the Garrison briefly, and Martin, you're involved with, is it Garrison Working Group?
Yeah, so we've got Friends of the Garrison as the official title, I suppose. It's been kind of a bit of a privilege to work with lots of different drama groups and also individuals, I have to say, over the past kind of year to be able to get where we are. We as a drama group, but also as passionate individuals about drama, know that we need the garrison to be able to do what we do. We can't put on productions elsewhere in Shetland. It doesn't have the wing space or the technicalities that we need to be able to do productions like that. So, you know, we've been working with the likes of Shetland Arts, the Charitable Trust and other groups to be able to try and find a sustainable legacy for the garrison. We understand that resources are tight and that it's challenging days that we live in, but we need to come together as organisations, as groups and individuals who are passionate about drama and about our theatre to be able to find a solution, because it is a crown jewel. There's many groups that have come up here and have performed in the garrison over the years and say how lucky we are to have the garrison within our community facilities. It's got things that you would love to change, you know, the seating and stuff like that. There's people who go on about that, but actually it's a beautiful theatre. And those are things that, you know, they're wants rather than needs. And actually our garrison is a stunning facility that we take pride in performing every time. And I think you know, it's going to be challenging over the next few weeks and months ahead to work with everybody, but I actually think what has been very powerful about the Friends of the Garrison is I really think it's brought people together, because we understand that we all have our own groups and our own productions and our own passions within the arts community, but unless we come together and be able to find that sustainable legacy for the garrison, then we have nowhere to perform. So all of our passion in that is thrown out the door. So I have really actually enjoyed working with those groups and individuals to be able to make that happen. And I'm positive that we're going to find something, and I think we'll find something that works. It's been great so far, and I think what's been fantastic for me is actually the public support behind the garrison. When we've done the surveys and consultations about the importance of the garrison, there was a huge amount of support from members of the public saying that they enjoy going to the garrison, and it's an experience. You know, Panto, for example, I've grown up in Pantos from Open Door to Islesburgh Drama Group, and there is not many types of entertainment that you will get tiny tots all the way up to the kind of 18, 90-year-olds and everything in between enjoying a show. And I think that's a great thing about our theatre, is that it caters for everybody, and people love it.
Yeah, and you get really camaraderie at the Panto too. It's just so nice. There's nothing like it.
It's hard work, but
yeah, the runs are extensive.
2 weeks of hard work,
and all the rehearsal before that too.
But but for our group, it allows us, that gives us 2 years. So we do a Panto every second year.
Yes.
So that gives us 2 years. That the money that we make off the Panto funds the other productions, because they didn't make money.
And then how many productions will you do between each Panto?
Well, we'll start this year. We have a spring production this year that's coming off at the end of March, and then we'll go into Panto at the end of the year. We go off in the summer because everybody wants to be outside in Shetland. They don't want to be stuck. And then we'll do another spring production next year, and then another winter production. So we do about 4 in 2 years' time.
And your next one coming up is...
It's a bit of a scoop for you, Marjolein, to be honest, because we haven't announced it yet. So this is an official scoop for your podcast.
Oh yes,
yeah, we're doing
Adam will be proud of me.
Alan Ayckbourn, Absurd Person Singular.
Oh, what's this?
Well, Ayckbourn humour comes out of the awfulness of just social situations. When you do an Ayckbourn play, you don't play it for comedy, but the comedy comes out about the awfulness of social interaction between, in this play, 3 couples.
Okay.
Set last Christmas, this Christmas and next Christmas, and the changes. And so that's going on at the end of March. So Martin's in it. I'm producing it, and we're rehearsing. We go back to rehearsals on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Sunday next week.
4 a week?
Well, because we had a week off for but usually 3 a week.
3 week, wow. And that's up until
end of March. I like to rehearse quite a short period of time.
Short and intensive.
Short and intensive.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the way I prefer. So we've started. So we're very lucky. We have a drama room upstairs here in Aylesbury, so the props and everything are in the wardrobe, so we set up the room as near to the stage as we can.
That's good, so you know exactly where you're staging it and working it out.
So we know the size, so that's we're on to go with that.
Yeah, it's very exciting, to be honest. As as Morag says, I've been fortunate to be cast in the production, and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a challenging play in some ways. I've never done an Acheborn play before. His style is very different, and I think that's another thing that's quite amazing about our group, is that we've every year we have the opportunity to send members down to NODA, which is our summer school. So we affiliate to NODA as a national organisation. So it's based in London, is where the headquarters of NODA is, but actually the Yarnfield is where the summer school is. So Morag actually went last year on the summer school and did a Acheborn course.
Yeah, I was going to do this play last spring, and then the details of the summer school, and one of the classes for the week was Acheborn, and I thought, no, I need to go and learn about this.
Brilliant.
So I went down and did, and it's an intensive week. You do 9 o'clock till 5 for 6 days, and then you do extra classes at night.
Wow.
And then you put on a show at the end of the week. So there's everything from makeup. One of our classes went and did makeup. Caroline did that. There's dance, there's physical theatre, there's costumiers, there's stage design, lighting. So it's a fantastic experience, and the group funds us. Sometimes you get bursaries. When you go the first time, you get a bursary. The group funds us, and then you take back this education really for the rest of the group.
So in 2018, it's really good because we really have increased that amount of support to members. So we've actually got 8 members going this year. From the group, and as Morag says, taking part in a whole range of different courses, introduction to stage management, sound engineering, because again, as a group, we recognise that it isn't just the on-stage stuff we need to be able to get more expertise in. We need that expertise backstage. So it's really quite exciting. I'm going for the first time ever. I've never had the opportunity.
Are you going to focus on a specific area?
So I'm going to do some musical theatre.
Oh, amazing.
So it's been a long time since we did a musical as a drama group, and I know it's an aspiration again that we would love to do one. Our big issue has been finding a musical director to come on board. But again, the course I'm going to go on is doing kind of musical theatre and acting, so it's all about some of the more traditional musicals. So again, I'm looking forward to taking that back to the group and being able to come and have a conversation with Morag and the other producers, and being able to say, we did this musical, and could we do that here locally, and that. And again, it might we might find something that we can do here locally through that. And I think that's what's special about NODA, is that I think they call it the NODA bubble, because it's a residential based summer school where you go in and you stay in within that bubble for the whole week. You take it back, and then you develop and you use that skills with your own group here locally. And I think that's what previous members have done when they've been at NODA, and I'm looking forward to being able to get that experience, but be able to take it back and hopefully put it into use here in Shetland.
That's how Diane Leggett started. She started by going to NODA to do choreography. And that's who she built on that, and then she did her HNC and HND and got a degree, and that's how it started.
And I love folk leaving Shetland to get a skill set or knowledge that they can enrich Shetland with by then turning it. In fact, you guys can fund that within your groups.
And the other thing too, I think sometimes Shetlanders are bad at thinking, I'm not quite sure if we're good enough. Sometimes Shetlanders are very, and actually once we go there and then they hear that we have a theatre, you can, and I can hear whatever I want for a budget for a play, and there's folk there saying, I get £100 for a budget, you can. So we actually realised what we have in Shetland, having the garrison and the groups, you can. I think that opens your eyes, actually, we're doing okay. We're doing okay up here.
Yeah. And for me, that again is the importance of the panto, I suppose. I think it's our panto, we make money off the panto every 2 years that we do the panto, but as Morag said earlier, it goes into paying for the productions that don't make money. It goes into sending members away to NODA. It goes into keeping our store. So we have the wardrobe that we've spoken about, but we also built a store a couple of years ago because we have these stunning sets that get designed for every production, but we need somewhere to build them and be able to create them. So David and his backstage team needed somewhere. We realised that no longer could we kind of be able to do it in somebody's shed or a borrowed store or that. So we had to go, and that was a huge piece of work for the group, the committee at that point, to be able to fundraise and get some funding in from grants, to be able to, as well as our own money that we'd been able to create over the years, and be able to put that and create that resource for us as a drama group, but also for the wider drama community. Izzy Swanson and the Panto have just used it this year. So I think that's a great thing as well, is that we're able to have that asset for the wider drama community out there. It's so important because being able to create sets, it's no an easy thing.
Before that, we would build them in St Olaf's Hall and then take them apart and then put them back together. Jeffrey Ma allowed us to build things out at the golf club, I think.
Oh, really?
LHD allowed us to build in shades. So look, the public was really good, but it's just a joy to have it in one place. And a lot of the big props, the chairs, the tables, that kind of things that's up there and stored. So yeah, that was a big piece of work. Doreen Gray was president at that stage, and we also had, I think, our 50th ball, 60th ball, 60th. So that was a huge year, that couple of years doing that.
Yeah, a huge amount of work that went into it, from people like Doreen, Jenny, who did a huge amount of work in terms of funding applications. We got some funding from Europe, and I think that was something the group the group has been going since 1950, but it's changed over the years, and I think we became an official registered charity through Oscar in 2012, and it's been so important for us as a group because it gives us that ability to be able to move forward and keep things fresh. I think that's the one thing that I've learned with Islesburgh Drama Group, is that through the decades they've built and built and built, and they've never stopped and said that's enough. They keep striving for the next thing, and what's our next challenge going to be, what's the next show we're going to be. They're always striving forward, and as a member it's something that keeps me interested, because there's always something new on the cards.
Talking about that and what you've been doing over the years, can you tell us about your exhibition coming up, actually?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this. This has been an aspiration for the committee and the group for a long time. I think we realised that a lot of the members of the public come to see our shows, but they don't get to know what happens and how a show gets produced and gets designed, and all the kind of the work that goes behind the scenes. So we've been working with the Shetland Museum and Archives over the past year, and we're excited to launch an exhibition in the Gadderie in the middle of February. Actually opens on the 17th of February at 2 p.m. And that exhibition is called From Page to Stage, and it will allow a member of the public to walk through that exhibition and see how a production starts from the page. So from how Morag said about finding the script and finding the play that you want to do, or the musical or the panto, whatever it might be, and then walks through the journey of doing a production. So everything from props, scenery, set design, lighting, members of the public will be able to experience that. So we'll also be looking back over our history. We have a huge collection of photos that a variety of photographers here in Shetland have taken, and we've picked a number of amazing images that will be on display from throughout our 67 years of a group. So members of the public will be able to see photos of family and friends that they hopefully will recognise from pantos and plays of the past. So that'll be part of the exhibition. We'll also have some of our wonderful costumes on display. So there'll be a panto section of the exhibition, so members of the public will be able to come and see some of the most colourful and bright and brash panto costumes we have. We'll also have a couple of sets on display from previous productions that we've done. So Blue Stockings that we just did last winter, and also On Golden Pond, which was a show that we did. So it's really going to be an immersive piece where members of the public will be able to come along and be able to interact and be able to see what it does take to get a show from page to stage. It's been a lot of hard work, I have to say. There's been a whole subgroup that have been working intensively to be able to make this happen, and my thanks goes out to them on behalf of the group, because I'm really excited to open this exhibition right down to scanning all of the photographs. We have hundreds of photographs in albums from 1950 before it's digital. And there's members of the subcommittee who have taken albums home and have scanned, and we have thousands of images, and they'll be on a loop within the museum as well. So we'll have a looped photo exhibition as well. So as well as the printouts, there'll be some of those on display.
As much as that's hard work, it's actually probably quite reassuring to know now you have digital copies of all those photos.
Exactly, and we also put them on the website.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we a few years ago invested in a website, worked with NB Communications, because they're an amazing
brilliant.
team,
Yeah.
and they understand, again, that community. For me, they're a business, but actually they understand what it means to be immersed in the community and the importance of that. So again, they worked with us as a committee to be able to develop that. Morag said earlier to you, she's a bit of a technophobe. She doesn't do Facebook and that. And at that time, Morag was president, and I took over a couple of years ago. And it's the one thing that I said to Morag would work with her to be able to drag the group into the 21st century. So we got our website. We're now on Facebook.
Yeah.
And
checking it out.
Yeah, it's a great tool to be able to engage with a different audience as well. We have a huge support base here in Shetland.
I mean, I would say that the past couple of years, Martin has done a huge amount of work in engaging with young people to get them into the theatre, and I think that's been done through Facebook. That's totally been done through social media, and that's a great link for us.
I didn't even have Facebook, but if I wanted to get involved with something, because a group page like that, you don't need an account to check out, you can just find it through Google. So my first step to find something would be Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
How would you, if anyone's interested in being involved today, either to be part of it or learn more about theatre or work behind the scenes, perhaps they don't want to be on stage, is there any way they can get involved?
Yeah, we look out for new members the whole time. We've got a panto coming up at the end of this year, and we would love to see more people get involved in the theatre. It allows you to develop so much skills, and the best two ways is probably either through our website, which is just islesburghdramagroup.com, or check or check out Facebook, and again it's just facebook.com/Islesburgh Drama Group, and either send us a message through the website or through Facebook, and somebody will get in touch with information about how to join.
Yeah. And it can be the simplest thing of coming to work on the door to begin with.
Yeah.
You can come into Matt T's upstairs just to get to know people. Coming to a club night just to see. We might have a club night coming up end of April.
What's your club nights? Well, just informal events?
Yeah, because we recognise as a group we only have so many productions that we can do in a year, just because again we're all volunteers. It's all done voluntary. Nobody gets paid for the jobs they do within the drama group, and sometimes the plays or productions that we do, they're not always big casts, just because we don't have the ability or we can't maybe cast that. So we need to keep the group going through the year and keep the members active. So we've done lots of different club nights over the past. So it might be quizzes, or it might be a movement night, or we might bring in somebody to do a bit of singing. So it just keeps the members, keeps them active and engaged during a time when they're maybe not involved in a production.
And some of the older members that don't want to be, or don't feel they can be on stage anymore, keeps them involved in something that's just done within the room.
And keeps it a real community, like you said before.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
So we've got something up the pipeline. So again, just keep an eye on Facebook, and on again for our members, what happens if you join and you become part of a mailing list. So again, we put updates out via email. We've got a closed group for members as well. So things like club nights, or if we're looking for volunteers to come and get involved in a production, or we need help with front of house or whatever, we have that ways to communicate directly to members as well. So that's the benefit of becoming a member, is you get access to that information. So yeah, come to us, and get involved.
And before Panto, we'll be having an open night. We might have a couple of open nights to say, do you want to come and see what we do? Come and be involved, because Panto's huge, so you need big cast, big crew.
Yeah, come and give it a go. That's the thing. Don't be scared. There's been many people over the years who were like, this is not going to be my thing, and they come into the room. We make them feel comfortable. We make them feel at ease, and actually they love it in the end. I just think you get a buzz from it performing, and I think we have everything from young teens all the way up, and everybody in between, people who are in professional jobs, and that is all left at the door. I think that's the thing that Morag's taught me. You come into that room and you might have had the most terrible day. Things might have gone wrong at work, or something's happened at home, and actually you leave all that baggage at the door, and you're able to go into a room with lots of other people and be able to strip all of that down and just say, I'm going into a space now where I'm going to enjoy doing a bit of acting, or enjoy singing or movement or whatever it is. And I think you get a real buzz from that. I
know this might sound silly, but through doing improv, I think as adults you can forget to have fun or play games. And
absolutely.
It's so fun. And I imagine doing drama is the same. It's actually this like safe world of make-believe where you can go through emotions and have fun. And
and it's, I mean, we do warm-up things, and it is just to make everybody realise it's creating a safe space to have your fun, that allowing people to feel safe to say, right, actually I can do this. Okay. And I think that's really important, as Martin says. And when we go into rehearsals, well, when I'm rehearsing, I always say to folk, come and speak to me if you've got a problem, but once we start rehearsing, then you don't account what everybody else is going on in their lives, how much rubbish is going on, what a bad time they're having. Just be here, be in the space, and we'll leave it at the door. That's lovely. I have so many more questions, but we've spoken too much.
A bit. But no, it's been really, really lovely. Thank you so much for joining and giving your time, and taking away from your recovery Saturday after the weekend. But thank you, Morag, and thank you, Martin.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you for listening, listeners. Cheerio!